Hello everyone, it's Finch here. We're back for yet again one more Draft League game. This is my fourth and final game of the first round. As you guys know, if you've seen my other videos, I've been following the Cash Gang Draft Tournament. Coming into this game, I'm 3-0. So long as I don't get absolutely blown out like 6-0, I'm almost definitely safe to get into the next round. But with that said, differential matters, and also winning just kind of matters to morale, a whole slew of things. So first and foremost, if I were to win this game 4-0 and maintain my differential at a fairly high amount, so let's say I win 3-0 or 4-0, it's a pretty good margin, right? If that was indeed the case, then I would be able to have a pretty high differential with the 4-0, so I'd be able to go into the next round with a high seed, which could be really good because I could avoid playing some of the top players from that first round in, say, the round of 128 or even the round of 64, sorry, if I were to advance that far. So therefore, I was still playing this game as seriously as possible. I wanted to do everything in my power to win, but if that wasn't enough motivation of itself, the opponent was none other than GypsyKing, who in draft circles is regarded as one of the best players. Specifically during Generation 6 and 7, I've heard many people say that he was borderline unstoppable, winning league after league after league. Apparently, he's a bit less proven in tournaments than he is leagues. And this is a tournament, not a league after all, so that could come into play here, but definitely a very solid player. Fundamentals all down. His draft is very capable, showing Pokemon he picked, and he's just a smart player, all things considered. So maybe he's not the absolute best player right now, but he's surely in that vicinity, in the conversation. And I still am relatively new to drafts. This is a game I took very seriously. As soon as I finished my third game, my prep for the third game, I knew that I was going to have my hands full here, and I really want to put my best foot forward in this game. So let's get on into the teams. We're right next to each other here, so I'll just highlight both of us. His team consisted of Lopunny Mega, Gliscor, Slowbro, Raikou, Silvally, Hoopa Unbound, Roselia, and last but not least, Lily. My team, once again, is Tornado Starion, Aegislash, Slowbro Mega, Rhyperior, Mandibuzz, Sylveon, and Rotom-Mow. I only picked 7 Pokemon again, just kind of how I felt appropriate. But anyway, looking at these teams, right off the bat, I'm like, okay, his main answer to a lot of things is Raikou. Um, Raikou is able to check Slowbro without risking Scald Burn, which a physical Hoopa couldn't, although it could be a special mixed Hoopa, which would be fair. Raikou is the pretty much only answer to Tornadus T. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be Silvally Steel if he brings the Silvally, which I'm inclined to believe he will, because A, that gives him a fairy resistance not named Roselia, and B, that gives him a hurricane resistance, not just Raikou. Um, so yeah, I think that he's probably going to bring Raikou plus Silvally Steel for sure. Looking at his other Pokemon, Lopunny Mega is a no-brainer to bring here. While it is hard-walled by Slowbro and can be walled by a more physically defensive Sylveon, it still has U-turn, and it can revenge kill things like Aegislash, Rhyperior, and even Tornadus T to below half. And of course, it decimates Rotom-Mow, especially offensive variants. Gliscor also seemed like a very safe bring for him. It's a Stealth Rocker that can potentially Toxic or Ice Fang both my Defoggers. But on top of that, also, it could potentially run a Swords Dance set, and if I don't run Ice Beam on Slowbro, then that could get out of hand quickly because with special defense, it could shrug off Scalds before Mega Evolution. Even against Mega Evolved Slowbro, it actually has a chance of eating 2 if it's Swords Dance plus Protect with Toxic Orb with max special defense. So, therefore, it kind of forced me into running Ice Beam Slowbro or Calm Mind Slowbro with a little bit of special attack investment. Ultimately, that Gliscor set in conjunction with his own Slowbro, since fearing them both running Toxic, made me elect to not even run Teleport on my Slowbro, but rather run Calm Mind, Calm Mind, Scald, Slack Off, and Rest. So I get dual recovery move, which was important because that lets Slowbro function as a status absorber, and that enabled me not to run Heal Bell on Sylveon. Why was that important? Because Raikou with Scald this generation, as it does get Scald, actually beats Rhyperior pretty easily. Just need a little chip. Even if I'm Pasto Berry, I can be handled in the long haul. So therefore, I wanted to run a Calm Mind Sylveon. Why? Because Calm Mind Sylveon is basically a counter to Raikou. Yeah, Raikou could potentially Volt Switch all over me, but I also have Rotom-Mow for Calm Mind, for non-Calm Mind variants, so that's okay. But Sub-Calm Mind with Scald in particular really scared me. Because it beat Tornadus, it could beat Aegislash, especially if it's not physical. Aegislash, it shits on Slowbro, and it takes advantage of Mandibuzz. So I wanted to run Calm Mind on Sylveon, and also I wanted to run Heavy Duty Boots because that Roselia looming in the back, if he elects to not bring Hoopa or he elects to not bring one of the first 3 Pokemon for whatever reason, because I don't think Slowbro is a great bring against my team, truth be told. I'm only really there for Rhyperior. But so if he elects to not bring them, bring Roselia, then all of a sudden he could sort of Toxic Spikes, and that could get really annoying to Sylveon. And so I ran Heavy Duty Boots, Calm mind Sylveon with some special defense just to eat like 2 specs hits from Raikou, always I think, but it was bold still, so I was able to check low opening Mega and live on uninvested Gunk Shot from like a mixed Hoopa U. Yeah, I think it also lived 2 multi-attacks from neutral Silvally types as well, but obviously was going to risk first Silvally Steel. So yeah, it was Calm Mind, Heavy Duty Boots Sylveon. I like to drop Rhyperior here because A, didn't match up very well against Gliscor plus Slowbro. I could have ran like a 4 attack set with Choice Band or even a Swords Dance attack, a Swords Dance with a Berry, but I really didn't want to. I really want to bring Rotom Mo because it gives me a Scarf which could potentially trick something like the Raikou or the Roselia or the Lily or even the Gliscor. And then I could trick Toxic up with something else, which would be really cool potentially if it gets Slowbro or Raikou. In conjunction with that, it also gets fast Volt Switch, which is really hard to keep in check, especially with Gliscor gone. And that goes into my next thing. I wanted to take advantage of Gliscor somehow. And I was like, Aegis Slash can be hard walled by special defensive Gliscor no matter what it does. So I actually ran specs with Steel Beam because that kills it almost always, even if it's max special defense plus, which I don't even think it would be. I think you'd run some creep for plus speed Aegis Slash, so you hit 240. In which case, it's always killing with modest spec Steel Beam, I believe, or maybe like 90% of the time, but you get the point. So while Steel Beam is conventionally a pretty poor move because it deals 50% recoil, this game, he's 100% going to run Silvally Steel, not Silvally Dark, or Silvally with a Steel, something to check like Aegis Slash, Silvally Normal, if you will. So therefore, I was like, he's going to be crouching on Gliscor for it. So I'm running Spec Steel Beam. That's almost definitely going to get me a free kill the first time I bring it in, unless Gliscor's already chipped. So I actually I went out of my way to not chip Gliscor early in the game because kind of conditioning him, if you will. We got Scarf Rotom with Trick plus Will-O-Wisp. We got Calm Mind, Heavy Duty Boots Sylveon. We have Mandibuzz with Speed for Hoopa and not even max HP, awesome special defense, always lives Specs Thunderbolt. And it also has Foul Play for Swords Dance Silvally and Banded Hoopa with U-Turn also for Hoopa and just Momentum. Slowbro to Calm Mind, Rest, Stack Up Variant, Aegis Slash, Specs Mods Variant. And last but not least, I'm electing to go with a Taunt, Toxic, Hurricane, U-Turn variant of Tornadus T. Toxic is really clutch against non-steel variants of Silvally, Raikou especially, and I've got a ton of bulk. I'm only outrunning modest Raikou, so I can live pretty much anything. I even live a Specs and Volt Switch from Raikou if necessary. So therefore, I could Toxic turn 1, because I think that's a likely scenario. It also helps against Slowbro with Taunt plus Toxic. Hoopa it has U-Turn for, and it can Toxic if for whatever reason I need to. And it also is able to kill Lopunny Mega 96.5% of the time if I hit, while also living a high jump kick into an Ice Punch, I believe. I think. Maybe that's a roll. Maybe it's 2 high jump kicks after Stall Direct if I get knocked off. I don't quite remember, but I do have some physical bulk for some benchmark. I swear I'm not crazy. But without that, let's get into the game itself now that I've went through my team. So right off the bat, I see pretty much what I expect. He doesn't Slowbro over Azalea, but again, not bringing Slowbro is kind of wonky, so I wasn't too shocked there. It is good against Rhyperior if he likes to bring it, and that also means he's got more likelihood to run, especially defensive variant of Gliscor, so he doesn't need that to check Rhyperior since he has Slowbro. Also means that he's more inclined to run something like Silvally Steel type, just because that doesn't need the physical bulk. He can run more of an offensive set. I'm thinking it's likely going to be Swords Dance plus Crunch or Flamethrower with multi-attack. Crunch and Flamethrower, of course, giving options to things like Rotom Mo, because Crunch still does a decent amount to offense Rotom Mo, and more importantly, Aegis Slash and Slowbro. And I figured it'd be U-Turn over Parting Shot, but later he proved to be Parting Shot, which is interesting. Hoopa, I was expecting either a weird mix set with Expert Belt, or just full on special with full on physical with Choice Band. Because Choice Band can potentially clock Mandibuzz with repeated drain punches or hyperspaces or gunk shots if you get poison, and it also just destroys everything else with Hyperspace Fury. Lopunny, I was just expecting Fake Out, High Jump Kick, U-Turn, and then a normal move. Raikou, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I was kind of thinking it might be AV or Sub Combined, but he revealed himself to be a different set. We're going to actually get into that from the lead right here. I'm going to lead Tornadus knowing that it does well against pretty much everything besides Raikou, but also it lives any hit from Raikou besides a Specs Thunderbolt, which I didn't think it'd go to. So I go for Toxic turn 1, and he reveals to be slow, which means that I'm quicker because I'm quicker than anything that's modest or not plus speed max pretty much. I miss Toxic though as he hits, so it's a rough start, and I go for U-Turn. I do crit the Lopunny, which is cool. I go Slowbro here. I kind of wish I had teleport at this point, but that's fine. I'm going to get a Scald Up on this, and it seems to be immune to any form of just status at this point after taking that Scald. So I go Hard Rotom Mo here, and now I'm going to predict him to predict the either Scarf Toxic or the Trick. So I go for a Will-O-Wisp here. I see he goes Lopunny predicting the Trick. Really worked out for me there because I got this burnt right off the bat. I was kind of scared of Facade, so I actually ran some calcs, but Slowbro was still fairly safe. If I had to, I could always Mega Love, that would be ideal. He goes Gliscor, sets up rocks. I go for a Combine here. I'm going to force more skull damage into either the Slowbro or the Raikou, and I can get a potential burn off. And I skulled here, no burn, that's fine. Actually going to go Aegis Slash here, predicting a Toxic or even a Teleport. Just knowing you can take advantage of most things besides Hoopa. He goes for the Toxic, thankfully, and now I'm going to get that Spec Steel Beam up here, knowing that he's going to go to that Gliscor. And as you can see, it takes it out in one. While I do take half my health, I can potentially wish up to it later on. Unfortunately, this does leave Hoopa to come in, and he's going to go for the Thunderbolt, knowing, okay, it's really safe to go for that, as A, the Aegis Slash in Shield Storm is, of course, in Thunderbolt range. B, Slowbro is another potential pivot to a Psychic move, and B, Mandibuzz resists both stabs, and he goes for that, and given the damage, he's either Timid Specs, which means a Speed Tie, or like Modest Expert Belt. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to think he's going to scout out me potentially, just like, actually no, I go for the passive play. Sorry, I thought I roosted there for some reason, which in hindsight was probably the better play, because I think he'd scout out Max Speed Mandibuzz. But I go for U-turn hoping he's going to stay in. And unfortunately, I get the I U-turn into the Raikou, which sucks for me because now that Hoopa's left low. The Mandibuzz is left low, which makes Hoopa difficult. So he's going to actually bring Raikou in, and he doesn't want to take a trick again. But I'm going to predict that, and I'm going to go for the Volt Switch with the Gliscor dead. Now Volt Switch is super free, which is great. And now I go Sylveon. He reveals Survive Steel as I go for a Wish. And I'm like, okay, this is lame. I don't want to risk Crunch or Flamethrower and Aegis Slash. I don't want to risk an attack on Mandibuzz, so I just go Rotom-Mow, knowing I could just Volt Switch around all day. That's fine. Now he goes Hoopa, and I go for a Volt Switch at this point. And now I'm just going to go Slowbro here, knowing that he's not going to go for an Electric move. He reveals Gunk Shot, predicting Sylveon. Yeah, I kind of figured that would be coming. So now I go Tornadus, and he goes for the Thunderbolt. So this was a bit annoying because I actually later revealed to be Expert Belt, not Choice. I actually always lived that, barring a 2 and 16 roll. However, I needed closer to a min roll to live after the 6% poison there. It was like 60-ish% in favor of him, but that piece of information didn't let me know if he was Specs or Expert Belt stuff. So if it was Specs, it would always kill, or almost always, depend on the nature, because again, we don't know that yet either. So the damage roll really didn't cooperate with me, and you got like an awkward mean fringe roll on the Mandibuzz the first time, so I wasn't too sure. But at this point, seeing as I scared him out last time, I figured I'd scare him out this time, and I figured it'd be Specs. So what I do here is I think I go for the Roost this time. No, I go for the Defog, which actually made a lot of sense because now Gliscor's gone, and with Tornadus gone, my heavy-duty boots abuse was kind of minimized. He goes for Thunderbolt, predicting me to stay in, and now I predict him to go for the Toxic this time, and I get the trick off, so it's great. He can't abuse the Toxic plus Combined Raikou, and now I can get Slow Volt Switches off, which is actually even better here. And I actually Volt Switch Seago Slowbro, which is kind of bizarre. And I get a critical hit for 78%, but that reveals that he doesn't have a ton of special defense, because I don't have a ton of special attack. I do have some now. And now I'm going to get Mandibuzz in, and I'm going to risk a Toxic here and just get a Roost off. And it's great that he doesn't reveal Toxic. He did have it. I'm surprised he didn't go for it there in hindsight, but I think he was scared of dying to a Foul Play or a knockoff. Maybe they had a chance of killing, I think. Given a later crit roll with Foul Play, it did actually reveal that. I'm going to go to Raikou's punch 2 Thunderbolts with only 11% each, because I do have some bulk. Get the Volt Switch off for 12%, sorry. And now I'm going to go Sylveon. And I'm going to Wish, I'm going to go Mandibuzz here, heal me all the way up to full. And at this point, he's Sword Stances, so I'm like, okay, I think I could just Foul Play this, right? Thankfully, I land another crit in the Slowbro, which kind of makes up for missing the Toxic on that Raikou. And it reveals that, yeah, before it was a roll, which is fair. So he's not full physical defense. I'm going to go for U-turn, predicting a switch here. And I'm going to catch Sylveon with my Aegis Slash. And right off the bat, now I'm going to scout for a Crunch or Flamethrower to see what he has. But he just goes for a conservative Parting Shot there. Good play by him. It lets him get the Regenerator off. That's fine with me, though, as I go for U-turn. And now I'm going to bring in the Aegis Slash, predicting a Toxic. But he goes for a Teleport. You got me there. Unfortunately, this is all I'm going to get out of my Aegis Slash. I'm just going to lock into the Shadow Sneak here, because I do have it for Hoopa, and I didn't really need a fourth move. No Hidden Power Ice or anything. Didn't have anything Head Smashable. So yeah, I just went for Shadow Sneak there. Get some chip off on the Hoopa. And now I'm going to U-turn into Sylveon Steel, and I'm going to get Slowbro in. He's in the Parting Shot, and now just going to give me an opportunity to get a Scald off into the Slowbro. Finally, I believe my third Scald is a burn. No, just kidding. So I'm going to switch out to Sylveon, as I do not, in fact, burn. He teleports into Sylveon Steel here. So I feel like he's got the upper hand at this point, just by a slight amount. At least he's got no rocks, and he reveals himself to be pretty offensive with that multi-attack damage, I believe. Not fully, though. I think he just has, like, some attack. Actually, he's calculating almost every turn at this point. I go Mandibuzz here, and I go for a U-turn, doing 11% to the Slowbro. I'm bringing Rotom-Mow, figuring he's going to teleport, but he actually Toxics, predicting my Slowbro or Sylveon. So that's great. And now I'm just going to go for a Leaf Storm and take him out. I think I needed a mid to high roll here, depending on his spread. He didn't know much. In theory, it could have just been a min roll that I needed. It definitely didn't always kill. I just didn't get a full range of its attacks, but thankfully he stayed in there. I think that was a bit of a misplay by him, but I think he didn't want to risk the Raiku's health at that point. Anyway, he goes Hoopa, and now at this point, I'm still not sure if I'm quicker, but I think I'm pretty sure he's expert because he switched moves and he's doing the damage he was. So I foul play the Raikou. Then I go Sylveon, and I almost definitely am going to live Gunk Shot, but I'm not 100% sure, so I go Slowbro here. Parting Shots. As he goes, I'm still in Parting Shots rather. So I get another Swelled Off with Slowbro into the Hoopa there. Now I go Rotom predicting the Thunderbolt, and that was a really great heads up play for me, knowing he wouldn't go for Dark Pulse or Gunk Shot. And now I know I'm quicker than this, so I'm going to get a Volt Switch off here, I believe. Doing 11%. Yep, as I bring in Sylveon. He's going to Toxic Miss here, which really sucks for him. But Sylveon wasn't really the winning condition. It was more just a Cleric at this point. More of just a Wishcaster at this point. Yeah, and I go to Mandibuzz now. Which comes true. He goes for multi-attack. And now I get a foul playoff. And this is pretty big as it shows I'm quicker these turns here. Which I don't understand why he ran such a slow Silvally in hindsight. But it's fine. For me, obviously. He's going to just go for Encore here, which is cool. I was scared of Facade, so I actually was going to Roost anyway. I actually had to call if I live Facade, and I lived the max damage Adamant Facade barely. And then he goes for Healing Witch, which is really cool. So now he's got to replenish Tupa, and I'm like, okay, shit, I'm back on the ropes. I'm going to go Rotom because it's my least valuable Pokemon at this point. And now it's the 3-3 game. As I go Mandibuzz, knowing I can threaten it with U-turn or Foul Play. I go for Foul Play, knowing that the Raikou is in range of like a 3KO from Foul Play. That's cool. But he goes Silvally Steel, predicting the U-turn. And now I go Foul Play again to the Raikou. And I always live a Thunderbolt here. I get a U-turn here to put it in the Foul Play range the next time. And I get Sylveon in again. And now he goes Silvally Steel, as I think I just go for Hyper Voice, knowing 2 kills this, and 2 kills the Hoopa, and kills the Raikou. As he goes for a Parting Shot now in my Mandibuzz, bringing the Hoopa balance, so he can at least live any hit pretty much. As I go for U-turn to see, he does only 54 there. And now I go Slowbro, knowing, okay, it's just probably fodder. He goes Gunk Shot though. And now in an active preservation, I think now I just Mega Evolve and fodder myself off. See, now it's a 2-3 game. I let it go. I go Mandibuzz, but I can just win the game with Mandibuzz because Foul Play kills him. So he goes Silvally, actually. A bit of a 50-50 here. If this is modest max special attack Raikou, which, given rolls against Rotom, I'm almost certainly sure it isn't. But timer is only 90 seconds a turn, and I couldn't go back and calculate a million things. If he was modest max special attack and he gets max damage with Thunderbolt, like literally 1 in 16, then that plus Poison would take me out, depending on the amount of HP I had with 88%. So it does like 76 min. And Poison's 12% this turn. Max. 76 max. But I'm like, okay, he's probably not that, so he's probably going to bait the choke and go Hoopa. So what I do here is I stay in, and I go for that Foul Play, knowing that also I probably live a Gunk Shot with Sylveon from full health, given how much physical defense I have. And I'm going to catch him there. I'm going to say good game, and that's a wrap. So thankfully I'm going to win 2-0 in a really tight, close game with Gypsy, who made a lot of great plays. I think he fell apart a little bit at the end there, but I don't even know if it's due to misplays so much as just his sets restricting him in the matchup against Mandibuzz. So thankfully that worked out for me. I think my team match career was pretty good, and I was able to execute at a high level, which was great. But definitely some good plays from the opponent. Definitely a close game. One of my favorite games of the round, all things considered. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm definitely going to bring you guys my games from the second round, as with this win, I clinch advancing, and a fairly high seed, as I am 4-0 with a plus 16 differential. So that was all great. I hope you guys enjoyed these games. I know it's different than normal. I know it's not the same content that you expect from me competitively, but draft is really cool. I urge you guys to get involved with it if you aren't already, and definitely more draft stuff coming from me in the future. Anyway, this is Finch. That's it for now. Peace.